Namaste and welcome to this episode of the Thursday Thoughts. First of all, at the outset, I'm very sorry. Today we are discussing on a Sunday the Thursday Thoughts, and that too, notwithstanding the Super Sunday that is today, the T20 World Cup final between India and the New Zealand is going to be played. The finals will be played at the Narendra Modi Stadium of Ahmedabad. But I insist not to discuss about cricket, and let's discuss about Gulf, which is more serious, which is more alarming, and has got more repercussions on the global scene. So we are going to discuss the Gulf too deep, a Gulf too deep, how it has become so deep, which is unfathomable, so deep that we are unable to measure the depth, we are unable to fathom it, and a bridge too far, so far that we are unable to cross it. It has been the bone of contention for countries in that region and even for the superpowers from time immemorial. Let's just delve to a little bit. I'm sure I'm not an external affairs expert, but still, these are my views. Hope you like, and I request you to comment as and when you feel like. So, the Gulf, a convoluted past, confused present, and an uncertain, definitely, certainly uncertain future. How the past, any situation today that is evolving, is not a making of yesterday or day before. For centuries, this particular Middle East or Gulf, the countries have been at war with each other, with one another, even the superpowers trying to eye in the power struggle. So as a result, it has got a very convoluted past, and the present is equally confused or confusing. And if you look at the future, it looks darker than ever before. So we have got a gulf, the Middle East, the countries, the oil rich countries fighting with one another, even involving superpowers, a convoluted past, a confused present, and an uncertain future, a future which we don't know where we belong to. Let us try to see how the whole situation has evolved. To some extent, let us see how it has actually come to this pass. And today, the countries in the region and all around the globe are are trying to find their right in the area of the Middle East. So, we are going to discuss about the Gulf. If you look at the convoluted past, in the Iran-Iraq war, 1980 to 1988, 8 years, 8 long years, these two countries, which were earlier Mesopotamia and in Iran, they were or Persia, they were fighting among themselves or between themselves for centuries. But recently, that is of 1980 to 1988, there was a war. Then we had, of course, the famous Gulf War between when Iraq, under the Saddam Hussein regime, wanted to annex or invade Kuwait, and it was denied by the US then, and it is known as the Gulf War of 1990 to 1991. Few months it lasted, ultimately resulting in the capture and assassination of Saddam Hussein, and Kuwait got liberated. We have got Israel invading Lebanon in the year 1982. Iran's network of allies and proxies across the Middle East, called the axis of resistance. As we all know, we read daily Hamas in the Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, Houthis in Yemen, Shiite militants in Iraq. So there is always fighting. These people are trying to fight the war with Israel. And of course, Israel supported Iran not long ago when it was fighting with Iraq. So this is the convoluted past. And if you look at the present, is equally confusing. On the 28th February, hardly 9 days ago, Israel and the US led Air Force bombarded Tehran, the city of Tehran, the capital city of Iran. And the reason was Iran was clandestinely working to go nuclear. And what was the result of what was the proof? The International Atomic Energy Agency gives a clean sheet to Iran, telling that there is no proof of Iran trying to go nuclear, but the damage is already done. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the then or hardly the religious leader, the political leader, along with various others, maybe hundreds, maybe 40, were assassinated. And Iran, on its part, as a result of the attack, is targeting all the US bases in the Gulf, like the US embassies in UAE, Qatar, Dubai are bombed by Iran. But yesterday, as early as recent as yesterday, the Iranian president Masoud Pezeshkian issues an apology to all its neighbors, telling that we are not going to bombard or attack you if the attack has not originated from that particular country. And he has issued apologies for all its neighbors. And what is the future holds? It is as uncertain as ever, as dark as ever, the pitch dark future that we have got, the unstable equations. We have already seen so many wars are fought between nations of this region. There is a leadership vacuum. No Muslim country or no Arab country is trying to take the leadership role. And as recent as 1 week ago or 5 days ago, we have seen the IRIS Dana is sunk in the seas near Sri Lanka, killing at least 87 sailors who are not warriors, who are not fighters, and of which 34 were rescued. So thereby the war is now boarding to expand into the Indian Ocean region. So we don't know what the future holds for us. So with this uncertain future and the convoluted past, and of course the confusing present, wherein even the NATO ally of the US, Spain, has criticized the action of US, telling that US cannot attack on the sovereignty of Iran and kill its leaders. So it is not supporting. So every nation is going in its own way and charting its own course. So the future appears to be absolutely chaotic. So what is the situation? How we can go forward? Now the Gulf, the eternal flashpoint. Why always there is a war in the Gulf? There are few points which we can consider. 50% of world's proven oil reserves are here in the Gulf, and 1/3 of the natural gas resources are available in this Gulf. The Strait of Hormuz, we all know, is a choke point that allows 20% of world's seaborne oil trade. So if it chokes, 20% of oil business, oil trade of the nations, of the country, of the world comes to a standstill. And the theater of intense regional power struggle between the Iran and the Shiites of Iran and versus Saudi Arabia, the Sunnis of Saudi Arabia. It is centuries-old war that is going on, the centuries-old rivalry between the Shiites and the Sunnis. An ideological divide is there, where there is always an anti-US rant in this region. And of course, the border disputes like Iraq-Kuwait, maritime claims, Iran-UAE island dispute, that's Abu Musa. And of course, the foreign military bases of UK, US, and France are available, making this particular region more inflammable, more a flashpoint. It can catch fire at any moment. And that is why we are all facing this flashpoint that is known as a gulf too deep, a bridge too far to cross. Then what is the solution? Is there any solution, or are we totally dark? So what is the way forward? It is unlike UN. The UN, we have seen the United Nations organization has absolutely failed. It's a spineless organization, toothless organization. We want a bold, dedicated, action-centric organization or a group of countries coming together to press for ceasefire. Until then, it's going to be very, very difficult. It is the most difficult and most unpredictable quagmire of quicksand. You don't know what is going to happen the next moment. Every moment it's unpredictable. As Einstein once said, politics is more difficult than physics. On 14th of March is the birth anniversary of this famous physicist Albert Einstein. So praying God to give sanity to the nations that are warring, so that they come across the diplomatic table and discuss and achieve a ceasefire and stop the war, because already innocent people are being killed. 1,200 or more people have been killed, and there is no solution in sight. Probably India, under the able leadership of Narendra Modi, should take a lead